Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the RockyMounts BackStage 2-bike platform rack on our 2021 Ford Ranger. Now, the BackStage is one of my favorite bike racks for a lot of reasons. A, I think it looks extremely sleek and nice and simple, which is always nice to see from our bike racks. It doesn't start clouding up a lot of the back of our space, lets our bikes be on display, and we are still getting a lot of maneuverability and usability with it as well. It's one of the most malleable bike racks I've seen out there, and there's a lot of reasons, so let's go ahead and start taking a look at some of the features. Now, right out of the gate, you can see that we do have a tire hold system on this platform rack, so if you're looking a way of getting those carbon frame bikes up to the trailhead with you, this can be an excellent option as we don't have any frame contact. Now, that also eliminates the need that we might have, if we have any of those women bikes, step-through bikes, or kiddos bikes. A lot of times with those hanging style and even some of those platform style, you end up having a lot of horizontal support that's needed. That ends up you needing a bike adapter bar. However, with this system, we completely eliminate the need for anything like that, making for a nice streamlined system for ourselves. Now, with the 60-pound capacity per platform as well, we are going to get our big, heavy e-bikes up on here with no trouble at all. So make sure we're removing those battery packs, though. We don't want those decoupling causing any damage to our vehicle, our bike racks, or our bikes. It's going to make for a nice smooth ride regardless. So we'll go ahead and take them out, throw them in the back of the vehicle. Taking a look at the platform too, as I mentioned, pretty sleek design here. Nothing crazy going on in it. You'll notice there's a lot of blue elements throughout the entirety of it as well, and I really do like those as they are our contact points. So alerting us to where all the things are that we want to access when it's maybe getting dusk and we're getting back from a long ride. It will make it that much easier for us to actually clip in. Now, the cradles themselves are a little adjustables too, so I really do like how versatile they become. Of course, you got that inner groove for those standard 18C tires, widening out for your mountain, and getting a little bit wider for those fat tire bikes, especially maybe your bigger e-bike tires as well. One thing that's cool about RockyMounts too, they've gone ahead and thrown in one fat bike adapter ratchet here, as you can see. So you're getting those two dual straps. You can see how massive of a strap you can actually get in there, and you can see how that ratchet system is going to work. Just kind of clips down like so. And I do like the little eye holes as well, allowing for us to get a finger through there to make sure we are nice and secure. Really helps too, when it's cold out, you don't be pinching your fingers nearly as much. So pretty cool design there. The arm system works really great too. Pretty straightforward design. Clamps down to your wheel. Doesn't allow it to go up unless we push in that blue lever that's waiting for us. Again, that blue letting us know where we are and what we need to access. So quick, simple little guy to actually hold that in. And the cradles themselves do a good job of folding in when not in use. And again, you're getting that standard groove, a little wider for the mountain, and of course for those fat tires as well. Nothing too crazy in the cradles. I think they do a good job. And I do like how this one kind of pivots up, gives us another backbone really for that front tire. Always great to see. So love seeing those holds work well. And I think this is where this guy really starts shining, though, is its maneuverability. Now, unfortunately today, our tilt-away feature does work on most vehicles. However, being in our Ranger, we're going to have a little bit of issue here with our tailgate. Now, you're going to start seeing this on a lot of these models, especially for the Ranger. You have a little bit the longer tailgate here. You can see how far it really extends past here. And you can see right away making contact right on that cradle of that side there. So definitely be causing a little bit of damage, especially if we kind of drop this real heavy. So I'd be very careful about it in this position. However, if you really needed to, we could do a quick little snatch and grab on the back end here, not have to fight the slide wall, and kind of get it over here. However, that's a little cumbersome, right? We don't be causing any damage to our tailgate or our bike rack. So we actually have a different way of accessing the back of our vehicle. And now this is going to be a problem you're going to see in the Ranger on a lot of different things, is that whole tilt-away system not working to its full potential. That's where we actually have our swing-away feature that's really going to save the day here. On the bottom here, we're going to go ahead and loosen up this lever, going counterclockwise to go ahead and loosen that from our inner assembly. Wait till it's nice and loose. You probably feel it a little bit too there when you're pulling it down. And on the back end here, there is another little blue knob that we want to pull over. Hopefully you guys can get a little angle of that. You can see I'm just going to go ahead and pull that knob up. That's going to go ahead and release the base from itself. Get this guy a little bit more loose. And as you can see, we're going to start swinging well and clear out of the way. So look how much range we're getting on this guy. Now we can go ahead and stick him over on the end, and as you can see, going to do a good job of holding right there. Now if I needed to, I could start accessing my bike on the inside. That's something you don't really see a lot, you know. It's kind of hard to do work on these guys while they're on the rack. Now we're getting full range of the entirety of our bikes, but not only that, we're getting complete access to our tailgate. I mean, look at this. I can drop it down, set it down. Now I can pull those heavy items here with no trouble at all, and I got all this space. Kind of nice that it sits right underneath that tailgate. I get all of my leg room here that I normally would. I can come up here, I can sit down, put on my riding boots if I need to, or my shoes, change it all out. Great that we get full access to the back of this tailgate, especially if we're done with the hard ride. We can just go ahead, relax on the back for a little bit before we're ready to go. Really, really like how much this system starts working for itself and how much, you know, space we're actually getting with it. Get in there, get this tailgate, get anything we might need. To bring this back is even simpler. I just want to pull up in this knob, start swinging this arm in like so. I like to go ahead and just kind of counter-rotate this as I go. You can see, make sure we're grabbing onto the arms of our swing-away system until we can get it in this position. You're going to hear that back one click. That means that's locked up, ready to go. We can start tightening down our lever. And I just kind of watch it too, make sure I'm not getting too wonky on the sides. And we go ahead and tighten this up going clockwise. So really quick and easy to use. You saw how fast I was able to swing that out and swing it right back in. So it's not like a huge takedown maneuver either, right? You're getting a lot of maneuverability without having to really eat into our day to really start making those adjustments. So love how quick and easy those guys are to do. Let's go ahead and take the bike off, see how quick and fast that's for us as well. Again, that brings us to our ratchet strap system. We're just going to head, press in that blue lever. That blue always being good to show us just where we want to put our hands. Go ahead and swing that to the side as well. Getting it well up out of the way. That brings us to our last contact point. Now, before we, disengage this, make sure we have a good, firm hand on our bike. Don't want that tilting in our vehicle or ourselves, especially as we get a little bit heavier and heavier on these guys. I like this too because it has an ergonomic grip. Real easy to grab it, push it to the side, and we can get up here and get kind of close. I like to also get this arm maybe set to the side as well. As you can see, that gives you just like another half step in, but that really starts adding up as you're getting heavier and heavier bikes on here. And one thing I really like about it too, I can just walk it straight out. There's no platform, or center mass that's in the way. I just simply have to walk it out, walk it on, and I'm ready to use the rack. So, already ready to ride in a matter of seconds. You always love to see that. Anytime we can just cut down on the expenditure of getting ready, really going to start helping us in the long run. And we can go ahead and bring this arm in like so. Get it nice and collapsed with no problem. So, quick and easy to do. Makes it nice and condensed as well, as you can see. Just makes for a nice, smooth, clean looking rack on the end there. Now with any hitch mounted accessory, we are adding a little bit of length to our vehicle, especially being the Ranger already. A little bit of length to consider. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at what we're working with here. From the rear of our bumper, going to the end here. I have a slight little curve, so keep that in mind. So yeah, right at 36 inches, probably just a little bit under that. Nothing too crazy, especially for the system that we are getting here. Definitely a little bit of length to consider though. So maybe we're in the garage or maybe we're in the tight parking places at the trailhead. We actually have a way of making this just a little bit easier for ourselves. Now let's go ahead and take a quick look, see how this tailgate does just in its normal position. I think, again, we're going to have a little bit of contact right there in that cradle, as you can see. So unfortunately, not going to get that full range again. But again, I don't think you really built the spring away feature. I know I'd be using that quite a lot. You see, not really doing too much time management either to actually make that possible. But that brings us to our put away function. This blue lever at the bottom is actually what allows us to do that tilt away, as you saw. Again, still think we're going to have that same issue right there in that contact in this position. However, we can go ahead and just walk this guy all the way up. You're going to hear it click, and it's going to hold itself very, very easily. No pins and clips really to worry about. Nothing that we're finagling with. Just a simple lever. Walk it up, and it's right in place. I really like how little play there is in this position. So we're not going to be worried about this hitting our vehicle at all, causing any kind of damage. One thing about these arms, too, you can see pretty good natural resistance. So if you're worried about these flopping around, hitting the back of the tailgate, I wouldn't be, as it does take pretty good amount of force. Nothing crazy, mind you, but just enough that, our normal rattle isn't going to be doing anything to our vehicle. So let's go ahead and take a look at how much length we actually shaved there. And by sitting at 18.5 inches to the furthest point of our lever, definitely shaving down almost half of that entirety of that length. So great to see that that can actually shorten down. Now we can get this in the garage, hopefully, especially get just a little bit more maneuverability inside those tight parking places where we need to take it. And just for the giggles, let's take a look and see how close we are to our bumper with our arm system. And just under 6 inches, so about 5 7/8. Definitely be well and up out of the way. Nothing I'm going to be too worried about, nor would you guys. It's going to be nice that we don't have that to actually keep in mind and worry about. Now on the bottom here, another important mention to keep in mind is our clearance to the ground. Now why that's important, as those front wheels go up, the back will go down, and so will our hitch mounted accessories. So going from the end of our position here, if we were in this position configuration as we move, going to put us right at 20 3/4 to the bottom of our post. So definitely going to be well and up out of the way. I don't think you're going to have too much worry about it, but if you have any insane driveways or, terrain to keep in mind, definitely just something to be conscious of. Go ahead and take a quick look at this guy. Definitely don't think we're going to have any issues. You can see how well this guy actually sits up and out of the way, away from the ground. Right, and at 32.25 inches, definitely don't think it's going to be an issue at all for us as we are going. But, like I said, if you start getting crazy, start going over some boulders, it might be something just to be mindful of, but I don't think we're having any issue with that guy on the end. That's kind of thanks just to our housing and how well our Ranger sits up and out of the way. Well, that brings us to our receiver here in the end. We do have a 2-inch receiver on this guy, so kind of limits it to its capabilities. We are getting a pretty big and heavy rack up on here, but fortunately for us, we do have a 2-inch hitch today. And you'll notice on here too, we do have the etrailer hitch pin alignment collar. Now what this guy does, all I have to do is now that when I get this set for the first time, I get my pin set through, I can come on, I can throw this collar in right to the edge of that flange right there for the receiver. And now every time I pull this carrier on and off, I just have to walk it right up. That collar is going to perfectly align my pin, and I can start getting my anti-rattle threaded hitch bolt threaded in with no problem at all. So makes a lot of that take down and take off that much easier, especially with a bit of a heavier rack like this guy. It can really start saving our hands and our knees in the long run, not to mention our fingers getting pinched in here as well. Now that does bring us, as we mentioned, to our threaded anti-rattle hitch bolt. Now these are pretty standard across the industry. However, they do a good job of actually bringing this all in line to one system. So that's going to tighten our receiver to our hitch, and our hitch is with our frame, so you can see that's shaking the entirety of the vehicle. So that means we're taking the play out of our rack a lot, making for a nice smooth ride for ourselves, our bike rack, and especially our bikes. And anything we can do to reduce that jostle, we're really going to feel it. Now on the back end here too, you can see we do have a locking core. Now we do have another locking core on this guy that will break down here a little bit, so they will be key-to-like, but this is a great way of making sure that our rack stays to our vehicle when we leave it unattended. So that will be key-to-like, and you can see right here on this guy too, another little locking core here right on the end. What's great about this guy, this does come with a cable lock that we can throw through the entirety of our vehicle, loop it up around in here, tie it off, and then lock it with this core, making sure that our bikes also stay to our rack when we leave it unattended. Well, the BackStage is one of my favorite racks for a reason. I think it looks really good. I'm a big fan of blue, and there's also really easy to see those, That way I know exactly where my points of contact are to get my bikes on and off and to get a little bit more maneuverability. I think you can't really beat that swing away function either. You saw how much of that tailgate we can actually start accessing. Great to start seeing that and how easy that is to access and utilize. Well, I think it pretty much speaks for itself, but I think that about does it for a look at the RockyMounts BackStage 2-bike platform rack on our 2021 Ford Ranger. I'm Bobby. Thank you for watching.
Here on our test course, we'll start by going through the slalom. This is going to show us the side-to-side action, which simulates turning corners or evasive maneuvers. Once we get to the full speed bumps, we'll see the up and down action. This will be just like driving in and out of a parking lot, garage, or driveway. Once we get to the alternating speed bumps, we'll see the twisting action. This will simulate hitting a curb or pothole or driving over uneven pavement.